No. Problem list. That's what I need. Problem list. Oh, that's interesting. Problem. Hey, Nico, how are you doing today? All right, everyone. Don't know exact. You can't hear? Can't hear. Test, test, test. Better? I don't think my computer restarted. It looks like the mic's working. Is that better? Awesome. Okay. I was probably a little quiet, and microphone was probably a little far away. Let me move it really, really close, because sometimes when I wake up and I don't talk to anybody, my voice is a little off. Just part of the awesome part of getting older. But then if I get too close to the mic, I have one of those screens, so I keep the stuff out of it. I actually can feel my breath coming back. So I don't know exactly which problems we're going to do today. I was not able to, I don't want to bore anybody and do the same problems. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the other room if I need to go. Hang on. Sorry about that. I've already fed the dogs. My wife, I thought, was going to try to go back to sleep, but the dogs are in there going nuts. Oh, JavaScript. Nico, I can't speak to anything about JavaScript. It is all so weird to me. I think the brackets. I think from the brackets to everything about that is weird to me. I have to look at it. And I think having to declare in JavaScript you have to declare the variables too. Let variables instead of consistent variables, and it magically turns into a consistent variable. Yeah, I can't even speak to any of that. So yes, that was one of the things going to VB.net Visual Basic, that you had to declare the variables. That was very annoying to me, because I was spoiled with Python, where you just take a variable, assign it to a starting point, an empty string, a 0, and then you go from there. So I guess that's the closest thing that I had, or doing any arithmetic and then assigning it to a variable. So all right. Don't know exactly. I guess what is the use case? Is that a constant? Is that a constant variable? Is that let me look. Let's see, what is a keyword used to declare a variable that can't be reassigned a new value. Closest thing that Python would have would be a set, where you would create something and then it couldn't be changed later by somebody else. That's the closest example that Python has. I guess the way that if I had to have a variable that I wanted to use that you could not change, maybe I'd put it in a file. No, but I think you can change. You can override. I think there is ways with Python has some hooks that you're able to tie into, and then you're able to maybe only be able to read only the file. I'm trying to remember, but there are things that you're able to do that are much more higher level and get down into the the base codes of Python, and because I mean it was built by highly advanced programmers, and it's been updated for, I think Python is 30 years old now, if not older. But all right, let's find a challenge to work on today. I didn't really know. I thought I would get up and I'd have time to look and find one. Let's see. This is called threesome closest. What is this? All right, give it an array nums of length n and an integer target. Find the integer's nums such that the sum is closest to target. Whoa. Okay, I don't want to do that one, because if the other one slowed me down that much, because I also want to show you guys, I did a quick palindrome one this morning, and I also want to share, do you have a video about open? Yes, I do. You're talking about opening up files? Yes, if you're on your, that's one problem that YouTube has, is that you can't search a channel on mobile. But if you're on a desktop, yeah, go to my YouTube channel, open it in a new tab, and then there's a little magnifying glass for search. At the end of, you have home, you have videos, you have shorts, you have posts, live, and then I think at the end there is, you can use a ping plus, the thing you want to search. That works on so like at Python basics and then open, that would work on search for all of YouTube. What my point was when the magnifying glass, the search on the YouTube page inside of mobile, I haven't been able to find, and only be able to search. You can scroll, but haven't been able to search. So I guess the first one that I want to show is coding. What do I want to call this? Coding efficiency. Don't hold me to spelling. If you haven't heard me talk about that, I am not a speller. So how do I know if I'm good at programming? Vinky, how are you doing? How do you know if you're good at programming? Do you build stuff that works? Don't get hung up on okay, let's kind of chat about that for a minute. So I'm unemployed right now, so I'm constantly sending out resumes trying to talk people into that I know what I'm doing. Code. Vinky's exactly right. You just have to do it over and over and over again. Are you building the tools that you want to use? Oh, can I get you guys to hit the like button for me? I just realized that I had not bothered you guys with that yet. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Nico, that thing that the video you posted, I mean, that took a lot of time and energy for you to. All right, we got one like. Thank you. So you have that video and you have that inside a window, and you're moving it around and dragging it all around. That probably took a great deal of time. I mean, that was pretty impressive. I would say you're good at programming. So just continuously building things. The way that you're going to find that you'll get feedback is building things that other people need. So don't be walking around with a hammer trying to look for nails. Look for the problems that people have. Not really. It's just using JavaScript to listen. If I'm pressing any key and changes the CSS XY. Well, I mean, that would be an example of a good programmer where you don't think that something like that was very complex and you were just moving it around. So I would spend some time looking at problems that people have that people are saying, I wish it could do this, I wish it could do that, then build the functionality to solve that problem. Then companies or other people would be very interested in your skills. You want to be solving the problems that people have out in the world. Okay, all right, so I ran across a problem. I think I glanced at it this morning. I don't think it was last night. Sorry, everything's blurring together. But it was a palindrome problem. But not just focusing on the palindrome problem, is the other submissions. So sometimes we get hung up on the testing. And what I really want to point out is the return is very powerful. Solving complex problems. So what I'm attempting to do with all of these live streams is to articulate. So the coding interview problems, I see what they're trying to accomplish, and there's a gap that it's missing, but it's also capturing part of it. Can you think through a problem? How do you attack things? Now, putting all of the emphasis on the results of the problem, I hope that they don't do that, because that isn't, but how you attack it, because an interview, a technical interview with a problem is very, very close to real life. So you're going to be, if you're building something for internal customers or external customers, it doesn't matter. You need to first have a dialogue. Is what do you need? What does it need to look like? Are you sure this is everything that it does? And those type of questions. Hang on, guys. Hey, was Javi bothering everybody or bothering you? What was that?
They were so excited for me to get up.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I almost. Did you see my text?
No.
Oh, I said, do I need to come and get them? I'm so sorry. All right, I'm back, everybody. So the technical interview and them asking, you being able to solve it right then is highly unlikely. But if you can write out the pseudocode of, it's also what I'm trying to share. What the point of that I'm trying to share here is, how do we need to think through a problem? Because our human brain goes, oh, I know how to do this. But boy, and the more complex the problem, the more challenge it is to go from there. So one of the things that I did, I got to know as many patterns. Wait a minute. How to know as many patterns as you can. Yes. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. And how would you go about, and then the more advanced you go, how would you set up these databases? What kind of information are we going to want to find? How are you going to aggregate? How are you going to store historical data? I mean, all of these things, tell me about, or storytelling. Tell me about a time when you had this. So, I mean, to merge a technical interview and then tell me about the time that you solved something similar to this. All of those things are very akin and very similar to real life situations. So, yeah. So, what I really want to draw to right now is over engineering. Yeah. So there was and I could feel, and bear with me trying to explain this because this is an example of it's in my head, but I'm trying to get it out to share. Between junior and senior, difference, that's a difference. Here, and let's just do it this way: junior versus the senior. So, all right, let's say you had a palindrome. palindrome. Don't think I'm going to spell that right. Drome. There we go. Drome. I never forget that it's drome. All right. So when you're comparing, so if I were to have done this challenge the old way, I would have taken my input and my string, blah 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 blah. And then I would have said if blank, if x is equivalent to, I'd be so fancy that I go, all right, or worse, I would go and create another variable and eat up memory. If new, and then I'd reverse it, and I'd go boom, boom, whoa, -1, and then new, return true. I think somebody slice start to end. All right, true, but I want to show you this. And I was a little surprised by this. Let's see, what is, oh, let me put this in def pal. Let's just do pal. Taking in x, and then I move everything over. Boom. All right. So I want you to really think about this. Start to end. Yes, I'm not driving home how to find a palindrome. What I am driving home is efficiency. Speed and efficiency. So I want you to think about this. Can we keep this, can you walk the line of keeping it readable while making this efficient? And when you start to think about these things differently, first, get this to work. Please don't get ahead of, don't let me get ahead of myself and say, you have to write what I'm about to write every time. Get this to work. See this in your head. Then the challenge after that is, can we make this cleaner? Can we make it a little bit more efficient? So we are doing an equivalency test. We're assigning, so I'm already eating up a little bit of memory by assigning this a new variable. So let's make a copy of this, and we can see the iteration here. So I'm eating up memory, so I can really do this. All right. Now, let's bring this in. So now I have x. Now if I do x equivalent to we'll just do the reverse. Equivalent to, is x a palindrome? So once you start to think about and can see these things, it makes sense. So wait a second. So when I do an equivalency, I get a Boolean statement back. Well, all we want to know, is it true or not true? Is it equivalent or not equivalent? So let's just really get, so I do have a test here. So these are kind of redundant. Hey, I got a LeetCode problem where I have to delete duplicates from a list, but how do I exactly submit the answer, like in the class? How do I give the answer to the thing? Do I use return or print? Always return. Always return, because you're creating something, so it's running the script, and it's going to be comparing the output. So you always want to do return create. So let's just do return. Can't do equals, so we'll do this. There we go. When I use return, it gives a runtime error. We'll look here in a minute, and I'll show you one. Let me make sure. Do I still have this up? All right. So here's the solution, and I'll show you how fast it was. Good Lord, that is very bad. That lighting is awful. All right, so now I realized this was a little bit different, so it came in as a string. But back to here, I can boil this down. So if this returns, if this is a Boolean, I'm doing a comparison in a Boolean. So I can boil this down to this. Because I'm already going to get my true and false here. So I'm wanting to, the point of this discussion right now is efficiency and still readability, but understanding what am I, hang on. Why did the chat just roll through there? All right. Okay. So now back to this. Let me see if I lean back. Is the coloring any better? No, that is so much worse. And they have this as white, so I can't do anything. All right. So when I run this, so I pass all three cases, and then I hit submit. Oh, when I ran this earlier today, I was on this side of the curve. Let's see. Let me run it again, see if it speeds it up. Okay, yeah, I was over here. So I'm at 65. I'm at 52 milliseconds. I mean, I'm still towards the middle. Don't know how to speed this up anymore. I'm very, very impressed with this. But if you look right here, wow, I was here last time. So I'm not assigning any variables there. So don't overthink this. Don't over-engineer it. I can't say that enough. Don't over-engineer. But get it to work first. You remember that photo that I showed about the Falcon 9 rockets? The Generation 1 had all those extra things because they thought they had a problem. They were trying to solve a problem that they didn't have. And then the third generation, the second generation got rid of like half the stuff. And then the fourth generation was like, did we even need any of that stuff to start with? So there. Nico, send me what LeetCode challenge is that, and we can take a peek at it. And we can, there's permutation, rotate image. Don't want to do a rotate image. You were saying, oh, was it duplicate? No, remove duplicates. Can you do a search? Remove duplicates. Remove duplicate letters, remove duplicate numbers. I have, what is it? I'm going to look for an easy one. Remove element, remove duplicate from sorted array. I got number 26 is remove duplicates from sorted array. Remove duplicates from sorted list. Contains duplicates. Which one are you looking at right now? Whoa, I just had my drink and I didn't have the lid on it. That's how I knock it over before. Nico, you still here? And this is saying already used. Let's see. What is that? Yeah. And comment. Remove duplicates. What LeetCode challenge is it? Because there's all kinds of remove duplicates. I got 26 is remove duplicate from sorted list, from sorted array, excuse me. Remove duplicates from sorted list, that's 83. Linked elements. I don't have much experience with linked lists. I still not 100% sure what exactly. All right, but does everybody understand that you do not need to have a condition to test equivalency? If you're going to be ending up hard coding, because if this is true, return true. Now you would need to do this if it's of course the inverse, if it's a true statement, but you're having to return false. So there's ways around that where then you could do, if you wanted the inverse, return not. So then if I did this, print pal.x, I accidentally clicked something and I went to another challenge, so I completed it, but my code is too slow. Okay. I was just wondering, you can just hit the back button from my experience. But all right, let's look at this one right here. So if you need the inverse, so you just have to put a not. If I've not shown you this one, this is so very handy. Let's just say you have a button and you're clicking it and you want to just do the opposite every time through. You don't even have to do a check. Just like when button is pushed, not true. So then if it's false, you just run it through the not false. Why is my code slow? Nico, I can't see it, so I don't know. Why don't you send me the challenge number or the URL, and then I will gladly take a peek at it. So not true. So I forget the example or the use case of that which I had. Now also the speed of the server. I don't think it's a true test, because how about you just send me the URL of the LeetCode, and we'll take a look at it, and then you're able to look, and then we can go slow and take a peek at it. But all right, let's see, because let's look at let's remove element. Let's see. No, let's do remove duplicates from sorted. Is this a linked list? I don't want to speak to and try to solve a linked list if I don't want to accidentally give you guys a wrong answer on this and do any. Oh, wait a second. Let me try something right here. For I in, how bad's the coloring right now? Iterate one index from start and on from end. Vinky, sorry, I'm not following. And one from end. Is that how to handle linked lists? Let's see. I feel like I'm a little yellow. How bad is this when I go to this white? That's a little bad. All right. And I thought if I'd changed it to dark mode, but all that does is handle Chrome. If the website has a white background, then no for palindrome. Yes. Yeah, palindrome I remember is a very, very interesting idea, and what blew me away was that race car was one. Of course, the first ones that I was doing and popping in my head was, of course, you have mom and dad. Those are easy. But yeah, when I was doing one experiment, it gave race car, and I was like, that's not a palindrome. And then I got reading down, and it was like, it's a palindrome, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I was surprised. But yeah, I love seeing things like that. All right, Nico, did you send the URL someplace? All right. Let's go back. Duplicate zeros. What is this one? I think Nico sent something. LeetCode contains duplicates. All right, let's look at it. And we'll go from here. No, don't want to look there because that makes the lighting awful. Okay, contains duplicates. Given an array, Nico sent it over on Discord. I'll actually put it here in chat if you want to take a peek at it while we're going through and reading it. All right, given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array. Return false if every element is distinct. All right. So let's start with our examples. 1, 2, 3. And I'll change the title of the stream. We'll call it LeetCode. What number was that? 217. LeetCode 217 contains was it duplicates? Contains duplicate. All right. And save. There we go. Okay. So here we are. Since this is, if it's stated, let's copy this too. No. There we are. All right. Give it an integer array nums. So this is going to be this. Return true if any value appears at least twice in the array. Return false if the elements. So this has one, two, occurs twice. So it has a duplicate. This is returns false. None, all elements were distinct. Now right here, we have a lot of duplicates. So this returns true. So all right, so the first thing that comes to mind is, well, one, we have to iterate through all of it. Do we agree? Is there any way around? I mean, we could do a container with but we want to show that we know how to use our skills to iterate and look at entire contents. Let's roll this up just a little bit. There we go. All right, now we can see the whole thing. So we have to go through the list. So for I in nums, we're just gonna have these, and we're gonna test all of them. Come on, there we go. Nums, and we need to clean that up. Nums, get rid of that. Okay. Dictionary. Nico, how slow was your code? When you say it was slow, why do you say it was slow? Why do you think it was slow? Did it tell you it was really slow, or you just my code works but it appears too slow and I think the website is giving it too little RAM or something? Okay. Send me the code it told you. Got it. Send me the code you wrote in Discord so I can just kind of see what you're doing. All right. By the way, that's not the nums list. This is... By the way, that's not the nums list. This is the correct nums list. Is that not the URL you sent me? Okay. All right. Well, we'll just work through this and see what we have. Okay. So, if look at Discord. Yeah, you said it came through as a file or something, right? Hang on. I think you sent it. Oh, because yeah, so that's what LeetCode is really good at, edge case testing. So that's just a really big list. So you just I don't know how you're going through. Did you copy? Well, here, let me try to work on this, and then we'll figure out what you're doing, and we'll go from there. All right. So if you're just joining us, we're going through LeetCode Challenge 217 contains duplicate. So we have it in the chat, and we're going through it in Discord as well. So basically, if it has a duplicate, return true. If it does not, return false. Basically, the concept of E and nums L. Let me see. And so it takes nums, list int, and looking for a Boolean return. Right. Okay. All right. If di Wait a second. So the problem. So you can know what my brain is doing right now. The problem with. Okay, sorry. So the problem with dictionaries are great, and then dictionaries have their problems. So finding values inside dictionaries not so efficient. So I think I saw it. I guess I don't want to look at it too quickly because I don't want to get any ideas and it taint how I would solve this. And then after I get a solve, Nico, we'll go back and look at it. But right now, so if I'm counting things, my brain. Oh, all right. Maybe actually, this will work, and we don't need to actually check. We're going to do this a different way, so bear with me. So we're going to utilize the strength of a dictionary, and once it happens, there we go. All right, follow along with me. So basically, as we're going through here, we don't need it. I don't need to know what the duplicate is. I just need to know the second it has a duplicate. So hang on. And then we just do break and return true. Haha. Okay, got it. Watch this. So we're not, because the problem with the dictionary is getting a value out, because you're making this a very, it's not sorted. It's just kind of this awesome optimized object that Python's goes, I got you. Just tell me the key and I'll go get it. Don't bother. I have this all organized for you. I know exactly where it is. But if we just say, was it already in there? And it's like, yes, then we go break and then return true. All right. So watch this. So to remind you how dictionary works, let's look at this. Curly brackets. D1 equals 1. 1 in D. True. All right. So basically, as we go through this, we're going to check and see if, all right, bear with me. It's in my head. I'm trying to get this out. If I in D, then D, I, nope, D, I, actually, we don't even need to do that. Pass, else, hang on. We need to account. We still need to do this. I increment 1. Don't know why it does that. That is annoying. Okay. Else di equals 1. Return true. Return false. All right, so bear with me on this. So we're going to take this def, can't do distinct, contains, what was the name of this? Duplicate. We'll just call it dupe. And we take in X and move everything over. So, all right, let's test this and see. So in my brain, I know what I'm trying to do, and let's see if I did this right. Dupe print dupe nums. Let's try these two. Return true. Okay. Turn false. All right, and then I'll go through what I did. Whoopsie, no. There we go. All right. Okay. Well, this last one has a lot of duplicates. Let's see why. Okay. What did I... Num. Oh, because I didn't go up. All right. So does everybody know how I did this and why I did this and the way I went around this? So I'm partially using a dictionary to its benefit while ignoring its constraints and its problems. So old me, junior me would have gone through the entire list. So here's an efficiency issue. Why would we need to go through the entire list if right here it's not find how many duplicates? So here's a perfect example of understanding what the problem is. Old me would have checked the entire list because that's exactly how I did for prime numbers. I waited to find out after I found all the divisors of a number and then went, oh yeah, this failed because it has 7 divisors. Well, that's overkill. That's over engineering. If it has 1 divisor, it is one or more. So I used to have this example when I was teaching Lyft drivers. What does an inch off the rack and a foot off the rack have in common? They're both off the rack. So the foot off the rack is an overkill, and then you can actually begin to have another problem. So Nico, probably what I would guess is that you're iterating through the entire list and it's taking too much time. Where what I'm doing right here is I'm just saying if it is in there, which I'm going to increment by 1 just to stay consistent, I want to stop, return true, and be done. So I'm done with this list the second I get to this object inside my list, this second one right here, because it is in here. I incremented by 1 because technically if it's in there, we could even speed this up and do this. Let's just see. Bingo, right there. And I'm waiting. If you follow, I don't return false here because this is the first occurrence. But I'm waiting until, and I have to know when I get through the entire. Look at your code. Is that what you're doing? Okay, so okay. So you are return false. Great. And it's still saying that that's taken too long. So we'll run mine. Let's see. So let's see. You're going. Everybody can follow along. So you have a list. All right. Well, that's why dictionaries, they're hashable, so they're faster. And this is heading towards outside of my realm. I know a dictionary. You're using a list, and so so the longer this list gets, the slower it is. So it's complexity in logarithms. So the longer your list goes, it's basically reading the entire list. This one is the judge list, what the code being run with a lot of super. All right, so we're gonna put in mine, and we're gonna see how it does in comparison. All right, let's go and grab. So very similar, but also that's not what I wanted to do. I feel like I'm getting yellow, so we're not going to hang out. We're not going to hang out over on the LeetCode very long. And we go here. Actually, let me put this and test it inside I'm on my other screen with LeetCode, so bear with me, guys. Let me get rid of my print. Run. And we'll find out if mine passes. Passed all 3 of the test cases. And then if we fail... Okay. So let's bring this over here. Let's see. Live. All right. So how slow is... So I'm down in this divot. So I'm eating up a lot of memory. But I'm here on the backside, so I'm still slow, but I'm not the slowest. But it passes. So did yours pass, Nico? And it was just really, or was it really slow and it says it timed out? So I'm still slower than most everybody else, and you can come over here and you can click. How about we click and see what this person's code is? Return. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, all right, if you don't know what this is, what they did is they took, so here's, I kind of call this cheating, but it works the same. Let's take this. Interesting approach. Does everybody know about what a set is in Python? Does everybody know? Let's see. But if it ran it on my PC, it's instant. If I ran it on my PC, it's instant. It's instant on yours? Well, run, import the time module and see how many milliseconds it takes. But all right, we'll just go ahead and talk about what a set is. So help.set, giving me less memory or something, it's slower. All right. Well, it grades the memory and the time. Okay, set a new empty set object, iterable new set, build an unordered collection of unique items, unique elements. So, unique. Unique is a very important term, non-duplicates. So we have nums here, right? So then when I do set on nums, I get this. And it's just going to get the unique variables, contents, unique contents. So what they're doing is they're taking len of nums and then len of set nums, and I forgot enough parentheses 4. So then they were doing they were checking the equivalence of these two. Bingo. So if they, and theirs was the reverse. So let's look. So if it has a duplicate, it returns true. So if it has a duplicate, so basically if these are not going to be the same, so they just did, let's come up here. Copy, dupe, comment out, and they just did this. So len of x, right? And instead of just assigning that a variable eating up memory, they're doing this all on one line. Equals set, len set of x. And then return. Because you remember how we talked about we can compress this all on one line? True. So this works and it's fast. And I guess I wanted to just drive home this right here. So all right, Nico, did that help any? All right, let's see if we can do another one. All right. How long are we? We have been we're right at 57 minutes. All right. Is there any other code that anybody wants to look at? Let's bring this one over here. All right. So that's an interesting way to approach the problem. So if we were to take that and run it, how fast is that one? And that runtime is around 300. So it's like 30% faster than mine. Because mine was around 431 milliseconds, and that example is 303. Why can't I run their... You can look at their code, but you can't run it? That's weird. Let me see. Let me see what it does for memory. Oh, that's interesting. I just ran that, and it still put it at 436. Does it not override my last code? No, it has it. Has it there. All right. Okay. I think I'm boring. Let's see. So now let's look at another challenge. Duplicate emails. Delete duplicate emails. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. 50 per page. Let's do 100 per page. Let's get rid of all the duplicates. Palindrome number, merge to sorted lists, remove duplicate from sorted array. That feels very insert search, insert position. What? All right, don't know why that keeps going backwards. Hello, how are you? Glad to have you here. What we're doing is we're going through some LeetCode challenges. If there's any one of them that you are working on or you're stuck on, binary tree path sum, Pascal's triangle. That kind of sounds cool. Don't know if I can. Oh boy. Given an integer num rows, return the num rows of Pascal's. Ooh, I don't know if I could. And that's also why I like LeetCode, is because they are extremely extremely challenging, but they do get you to think. Is anybody jumping on here that has been struggling with one or can't quite figure out a technique to solve a problem? And we'll look from there. Next, permutation, combine two tables. I do have to say, I don't think anybody likes SQL. No. Because I remember I did a stream on SQL and nobody liked it at all. Everybody hated it so bad. All right, let's go back. We could look at all the submissions. No, that's not where I wanted to go. Sorry. The reason why I'm looking at this off screen is because it's got a very strong rising temperature. Ooh, let's look at this one. The white background. That's more SQL. I would love it, but I think you guys hate watching me do SQL. What should I do after solving problems in HackerRank in Python? Is there anything that you're interested in building? That's what I would recommend. If there's a tool that you're like, man, I really wish I had this. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story, because I don't think I've seen you around here before. So I am a unemployed data analyst that I started the YouTube channel maybe 7 years ago. And I created the YouTube channel to keep me learning. I learned a long time ago, so I'm old. I learned a long time ago that if I was teaching somebody something, I was becoming better at that something. Started back when I was in a warehouse, and I'm kind of built and default to teaching and training. So I started when I learned Python, was learning Python. I learned that I needed to get in front of people to improve my teaching skills. So I started teaching and training at my kids' schools, middle school and elementary schools. So that increased and built my my base, my understanding, my comprehension of Python's details, basics, the building blocks. So then I started the YouTube channel to really push me to learn, because my growth was becoming stagnant. So I started learning as many of the built-in functions, the outside modules, libraries, then became very interested in pandas, what all it could do with, and how similar it was to SQL, because I hadn't learned SQL yet. So I was doing some trading, stock trading, and I was getting these reports generated for me from my trading platform, but it wasn't exactly everything that I needed, and my screener was pretty, not sophisticated, but complex, and no screener out there could handle it. So I was like, well, wait a minute, I need to build my own. So that took me a while to figure out that concept, because I needed that tool, because I was just doing redundant work and wasting my time, a lot of my time, repeating and copying and coming up with these silly ways to do this. Well, then I figured out that I was going to create these documents, create these pickled files, and I would keep them all together, keep my notes together, keep the current trading, days trading. If I had looked at a stock and I'd made notes about it, I would have those assimilate into the current day's results and keep it all together. So I needed to have that, because it was speeding up my life. So you want to find something that is interesting to you and that you need, or that you really want to do. Like you have to do it. You're obsessed with it. If it's a problem that you can't get your mind out of, that's what you need to do next. Whatever is going to drive you. So teaching and tutoring was the first drive. My YouTube channel was the second drive, and the third drive was my stock screener. And then between all of those, me talking at work and blah, 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 and meeting people and telling everybody that I had a YouTube channel about Python. And then I taught programming, and I tutored programming and things like this. I tutored kids in high school and in college through their classes. And then somebody said, hey, we have this job. So I was always honing my skills. Like right now, I'm unemployed right now, but I'm continuously doing this, because when I get my interview, if it's a technical interview, I have got to be sharp. I have got to keep these skills honed, because if you don't use it, you lose it. Talk to any pilot that you know. They fly all the time. They get very nervous when days turns into weeks that they haven't flown, because you've got to utilize those skills, and it's the way you keep your brain wired. So I hope that helped answer your question. But build something that you just can't live without. And sometimes these puzzles are what I can't live without. I have to solve them. I have to find the answer. I have to know how it is working. We now have 2 or 3 that I'm obsessed with. The parentheses one, the one that we did yesterday. I've learned that I cannot do the same challenge 2 days in a row. People are highly uninterested in watching me do the same challenge 2 days in a row. I think I lost quite a few viewers a week back when I was doing this one problem for 2 days in a row. All right, so I hope that helped answer your question. Find something that you've got to do. Either you have to do because you're obsessed with it, or you've got to do it because you need that tool. And you will see that this just things change around you. All right. So get off my soapbox. And if you don't know what that means, ask me, and I'll explain to you where that term soapbox came from. All right, power of 3. Let's see what power of 3 does. Let's see. We have given an integer n, return true if it is a power of 3. Otherwise, return false. Integer. This is interesting. I bet this is going to be a constraint problem. All right, so let's look at this. So also be aware of the constraint, and you have to read all of the instructions. So this is also why these challenges are great, because in a real world, you're going to need to be able to handle this. That was power 3. Oops, no. Everybody here know how to raise the power, how to do an exponent in Python. If you do not know, there is no x where. Okay, what? Given an integer n, return true if it is the power of 3, otherwise return false. An integer n is a power of 3 if there exists an integer x that n equals x to the 3. Okay, I'm going to have to think about that one for a minute. Bingo. Vinky's all over it. Let's see. Vinky, step 1. Step 1 equals 1. Step 2 equals 2. Step 3 equals step 1 plus step 2 times step 4 equal. Is that the solution to here already, Nico? And you're on it? Or Vinky? Vinky stays ahead of me. That is really good. Is that the solution? I shouldn't keep staring at it. I need to see if I can solve this. So now there also is a constraint. Oh, is that for the stair step? I forgot we were doing the stairs yesterday. N divided by n modulo 3. Does everybody know what the modulo is? Because that is a very powerful. Actually, Vinky, I was really close. I think I had the solution in my head as I was driving home, and by the time I got home, I had to do a ton of running around town because I had to go get a new oven. Our oven died, and then we went and they said they weren't sure. They said we think it works. Yeah, I tried the brute force too. That's not Vinky. That's Inion. Inion. What is? Oh, is that for the power 3? Oh, no. So power 3 and modulo 3, not the same. Let's go through that, and that's fine. So no judgment. Let's just talk about it. Dax, how are you doing? Good morning to you. All right, so power 3. So we have 2 power 3. So, but if 8 modulo 3, we got a remainder of 2. Does that make sense? So it'd be 2 times 2 times 2. So it's 3 2s multiplied to each other, unless I'm completely missing what you're trying to, the point you're trying to articulate. And that happens too. Sometimes my in isn't good, and a lot of the times my out isn't good, especially if I have it in my brain. Don't think my brain is like y'all's brain. It is very very ADHD brain, and it is, and not just disorganized, it can make jumps and leaps and even leave me out of the conversation of oops, I got the question wrong. And that's absolutely fine. Don't worry. I answer wrong questions all the time. But that's also why these edge cases. So let's actually talk about edge cases for a minute. Edge cases not only test your code, but they help your understanding, because I think I go back to the parentheses, and I know a lot of people hated that parentheses problem because we did it for 2 days in a row. Hello, how are you? The edge case is actually a way to clarify. How are you? I gotcha. Anime? All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So edge cases. So that also helps clear up any confusion of how. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there today. We're working on some LeetCode challenges. And right now, we're talking about this one about powers of 3. But right now, we're really jumping in and dissecting clarification of understanding. Vital, extremely vital to solving any problem, building any product. Dax can speak to that. End user, customer, however you want to say it. So not only edge case, do you need to be able to do that to test and break your own code, but it helps when you're asking the person explaining it. You're like, well, what happens if this happens and they do this and this and this? Or like, why would they do that? Let's not get hung up on why they would do that. What would happen if they did that? Is that a valid response? Is that a valid thing? So right here, I would say it's like, well, is this what am I looking for? I'm going. Okay, sir, I am here watching you and learning Python. Awesome. We are glad to have you here because we love talking about Python and we love helping individuals learn about Python and programming and problem solving skills, because they will take you a very, very long way. All right. So in this instance, we're looking for, is it a power of 3? So I'm given a integer, and if it is a power of 3, let's see, return true. So let's make sure that we completely understand. If there exists an integer x such that n equals 3 times x. Yeah, I think what Nico's trying to say is if you're just new to the channel, I have 1,098 videos. I need to do the one that has the million. The stream is about something that requires you to know some things to do. Yes. So sometimes we talk about some building blocks of Python. I try to think whenever I'm doing these live streams, I always try to think if the person watching is brand new, okay, well, awesome. So right here with this challenge and this problem is that, and this is a perfect example of how well do we understand the problem? Do we know what it's supposed to do? And then after that, then we have to program it. That's the way I like to attack things. So if it's 27 is, so does everybody know how to take the a square root in Python? So it's a little weird. So let's do, what's a good square root? Okay. All right. So I'm taking, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So power, let's look at this. That is for exponential. But you can also use it to do a square root. So if you think about it, and this is where you do have to have a little bit of math. So a square root is the inverse of this. So I have my power, so I have my exponents. So I want you to look at this. So I'm taking the square root of, let's make this 4. And then I get 2. So now if I take 27 and I take, let's make this very clear, because I don't want to do 3 3 3 3 3 3 because I can have some rounding errors. But that's not what I was expecting. Hang on. 27. That should be, that's throwing me off because that should be exactly what. All right, give me a second. Because if I have a square root of power, a root power to 3. Let's see, what did that do? Because power, let me try something. 27. See, that's what I was expecting. But you see, since I don't have a third, so I miss, wait a second. Now I got it. Bingo. Was not following my rules. This is what I was expecting. All right, so let's go over this really, 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 really slow. So here's some rules. We're blurring Python and we're blurring math. Let's see if I can get this out of my head and explain this well. So when you have exponents and like terms, you're able to, so if I do this, this is the equivalent. Let's make sure we're consistent here. Hey, Unfinished, how are you? Long time no chat. So let's look at this. Because I'm raising, so I'm doing an exponent to the power 2 over 1. So this is the equivalent of raising to the power, reducing to the power. So same principle. So this is the exact same. Let me get paint over here. Let's get new, don't save, 27. Move this over here so you guys can see. Same thing. Ineon. Okay, so we do inverse cube, bingo, and check if it is perfect. That I think you're a little bit ahead of me, but that's exactly what we're going to do. So this in math is the equivalent of 27 exponent to 1 over 3 in Python. This is the equivalent. These are the exact same, just like that. Does that look like an asterisk? I feel like that's asterisk-y enough. So that's what we're doing here, and I missed out a little bit on my Python because it's following the rules. So you can see where this is going. It did this first, the rules of PEMDAS, where I'm raising to the power of, you do exponents first, not the parentheses, because I have no parentheses. Exponent, then division, multiplication. So that's why I get this. So then that's why I had to change this to here. So I do parentheses first, then I do exponents. So does this make sense? This is the only problem that we need to. This is math. And this is Python. Sometimes I write well with my mouse, sometimes I don't. All right, everybody good here? I feel like I'm turning a little yellow. Nico, am I turning yellow? Feel yellowy. That's more yellow. And now, hang on. Oh, wait a minute. We experimented with this on the side. I completely forgot that. To solve that. Yeah, you guys wouldn't have any reason to know. But yeah, I've been experimenting with these lights, and I completely forgot that if I move this light to the side, it solves that whole dilemma. All right, so let's go back over here. Any questions so far with that? Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so we have this. So if this is, let's see, we take in to power of 3. So that would be true. All right, so if n, let's get these here so we can just click through them. And boom. Not that, not that, that. If n equivalent to n exponent 1 divided by 3, we'll just do print true. Let's comment these two out and try them. Why can't we do that? Because we want to. And we need to print. That would throw up. No, it's okay. Hang on. That test is awful. That may be what Vinky was trying to tell me. Let's see. So I'm not thinking about this all the way. If it is a power, then that means all right, so remainder of 0. I don't need that. So what do I want this to be? I don't think I've ever checked for a square root. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's see. I'm on the wrong screen. Let's check and see if it's greater than 0. You want to do that first? Well, that, to me, that can be where we can just dump that. We can just move all this over. Hang on. Let me try to get this out of my head first. So 27 is a cube. What's the smallest? 8. 8 is a no way. There's probably a better way. Okay. This is really this is absurd. So let me walk you through what I did. There's probably a cleaner way to do this, but I'm just dividing it by 1. If it is a cube root, then I'm not going to have. Let's check and see. What did we do? We did 8. Let's do 27. Modulo. All right. So greater than 0. Did everybody see what I'm doing? So so this is the wrong test. This is the wrong test. If in modulo 1, so I'm just checking the if there's going to be anything greater than 0, then that has a remainder. So false. Else do floor division. Well, Vinky, okay. Let me show you. It's not by a 3, it's by the power of 3. So I'll show you. Modulo 3 is 0, but the cube root of 9 is 2.08. So 9 is not a cube root. So our lowest cube root is 8. So then 8, let's see. Oh, I thought I just got a message in Discord. Okay, I'm hearing stuff. Nico, did you send something in Discord? I could have sworn I saw a message. So here's our first lowest. So then when I do modulo 3, I get a remainder of 2. But it is a cube root. So what we're doing here is I'm doing some very ugly math to get this to come out. So we'll check this in a minute. Print true. So 27 is a cube root. Let's see what we do with 0. What's supposed to happen with 0? false. Maybe fill a list with the cube till int limit and then check if it's in the list. Yeah, but we kind of went through that earlier, where if we're adding things to a list, we are Vinky if in return false. Yeah, Vinky, I'm not explaining this well enough to you. It's not modulo 3, because modulo is divisor. We're doing a power. We're doing a cube root. So we are finding out if it is which I don't know what a cube factor. So 2 times 2 times 2. So the smallest cubing value is 8, because it's 2 to the exponent of 3. Because 1 times 1 times 1, or 1 cubed, is still 1. So our very smallest is 8. 2 times 2 times 2, 3 eighths. 2 to the exponent of 3. Does that make sense now? So right now we could actually clean this up a little bit. So now we need to handle this right here. And we can actually clean this up. So now if in greater than or equal to 1, we can just do greater than 0. Greater than 0. Then move all this over. And then else print false. So we need to clean this up for our return, but let's check this and see what happens. False, and then move this over. We could probably get this to be a little cleaner. All right, so then we have false, false. Does everybody get this right here? Because I can clean this up, and I can put that on one line. Be like return true or false, else return false. So let's come over here and let me see if this works. Return, because really this is return not true. It's the reverse of it. So what do I mean by that? Return. All right, so let me bring this in. What do they call it? Is power of 3. Def. Let me put this down here. Def is power of 3. It spells it all out. All right, taken in, then I copy, paste, return false, else return true, return false. All right. Let's see where we are. Any questions so far where I am and how I'm doing about this? Print in print is power 327. Zero -1. All right. And let's do 27, comma, 0, comma, and -1, comma. All right, and run. And let's check. True, false, false. All right, awesome. Now I want to show you that we can clean this up just even a little bit more. Now, I know this is going to look weird. So one, we don't need these. We tested this, and we're getting this to all work. Now, remember how earlier? So for this to happen, to get this false, this has to be a true statement, right? Okay, well, I want this one to be false. Return not false, so I'm reversing it. So now I'm testing this, and we get true, false, and false. Does everybody see how I just condensed this down? I have a Boolean statement here anyway. So I'm just, if we're here, return this, but do the inverse of it. And then else, return false. All right, so let's throw this in and see what we get right here. Tab over, run. Let's see if it passes the first 3 tests, pass the first 3 tests, and then now let's see if we pass. All right. Interesting. Is 9 a cube root and I'm missing something? Because it's saying that I'm missing 20 of them, and I'm getting output of, what is 9 the, how is that a cube root of anything? Or am I missing the instructions? All right. If it exists an integer x that in, wait a second. All right, so I'm not catching, what kind of wizardry is this? In what way? You talking about this that we're going through? So I'll show you. So now my math skills. So right now, I am getting a fail. Let's see if you guys can see this clearly. I am getting a fail right now on, let me bring this over, on 9. I think somebody was using the example of 9. I think use test case. Yeah, there we go. That is cool about LeetCode is you can move these over. Your test case. So what am I missing about 9? I feel that 9 is not a cube root of anything. Anyone's comments and enlightenment of what I am missing about the cube root of 9. Because this is what I get for and let's just check this one. Let's just check 9. Yeah. Oh, I need another parentheses, and then let's come and check this, make this 9. And moving this over. False. I get false for, okay. And I'm wondering if it's because of, and I'm not understanding this. An integer n is a power of 3. If there exists an integer x such that three x's, but that's all right. Vinky, is that what you're trying to tell me, that I'm not understanding the problem? Is if it's then also divisible by 3? Is that what it's saying? And I'm misreading it? You guys go and check I have the link in the chat. Go and check it and read it for me. There is a 2-step for those. So if it's not, all right. So you're saying step 1, otherwise return false. An integer n is the power of 3 if there exists an integer. So I need to check this first. So we're saying divisible by 3, and okay, I thought it was given an integer can be expressed as a power of 3, and then so it can be a power of 3 or divisible by 3. All right, okay. So that's what Vinky was trying to tell me. So I did not read this. Awesome. This is why. I've told you openly my n, especially reading, because I will twist that around in my, because I need this. I can do this all day. This. So it can be divisible by 3 or a power of 3. So let's change this up. So we just did this right here. So now we got to make this a little unclean. Return not. Okay, because I'm going to be returning something. So now we need to go back to here. Or in 27, yes. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. Correct. But wait a second. I got false. Let me try something else. Okay. So we have 9. 9's supposed to be true. Or in modulo 3. So I need this to be here. Let's not get fancy. Let's do an elif. Elif, and then if we combine it in modulo 3 equivalent to 0, return true. Let's get this here. And let's run this. Or does this need to be first? All right. Move this down here. So we need to check if in modulo 3 equivalent to 0, return true. That sound right? Nine. Let's check this. All right. Then we can look at this and see if we can clean this up later. Feel like okay. That looks okay. Let's go and run this over here. Oh, not that one. This one. Paste. I got not enough tabs. Tab. All right. Let's see if the... Okay, so I passed case with the 9s, with the 9. Now I'm running it again. Now 45 is failing. All right. Don't understand why 45. Anybody got any guesses? Why in the world? What's the output supposed to? What is 45 in this whole process? 45 is what? Is 45 third cube root, and then it's 45 divisible by 3. It's 15. And they're saying that I got true. Okay, I think we're still missing the premise here. Wait a minute. An integer n is a power of 3 if there exists an integer x such that n is equivalent to x times 3. So 9. So let's look at 3 times 3 is 9. Power of an n. Now, I do not get the premise of this. The wording on this. So 45 45 is supposed to be false. Is it a factor of 3? Okay, but this is a factor of 3. Whew, I'm not. Anybody else possibly following why this is true and 45 is false? Because I am not. Because I think this is hung up here for an example. There is no x where okay, wait a second. Because 9 power of 1 times 3 is 3. Well, wait a minute. N times 45. This should be power of n. N is a power. Given an integer n is a power of 3. If there exists an integer... Okay, so my premise is wrong. I think Venki is... I'm misreading this. Did I do this, or is this in the explanation? Venki, I think you're completely right. I think this is not written well, and I've misunderstood this. It is modulo 3. I'm guessing the check if an integer is expressed. Yeah. No. They've misused. Let me hang on. I want to look at the description. Wait a second. I copied this wrong. It's searching for the exponent. Not. Can't drive this home enough, making sure you understand the problem. So when I copied and pasted this off the website, the exponents were not correct. So, all right. Venki was 100% correct, Venki. I apologize. Please interrupt me if you're like, no, you are not looking. Oh, Jay. What's up? Okay, so use Matt. Jay, I think that's over. I think we're overkill. Let's go back. But wait a minute, 45. Okay. So now I am weak at finding. So 45 is not going to be. So 45, it's not divisible by. If we need to find. We're looking for the exponent. There is no. Why that exponent of n such that x 0? Oh yes, because any power of 1 you get, yes, you can't get 0 because anything, because even the 2 to the power of 0 you get 1 because any set you have 1. Okay, all right, okay. Now let's start back over. You back? No. Okay, all right. Actually, Jay, you might be right. Is that the way to find exponents? Because finding exponents, we're heading towards the outer limits of my math skills. All right, and we're almost at 2 hours, so we're gonna try Jay's. I'm guessing the checking the integer expressed as. So we're looking for x. So if we derive a form, but all right, Mac, Jay. So we got to bring in import math, dir on math, and log. So you're saying, what is it? Log should be right here. So you're saying, so do we have what n is right now? Let's bring in these. N equals 9. Equals 9 and n equals 45. All right, let's put log math.log equals 45 divided by math.log log 3. And then if I change this to 9, 2. Looks like Jay's exactly right. So let's check. Is this good for 27? This is where my math skills go out. So all right. And the way that this is so I'm finding the exponent here. So I'm going to need to research log because I am weak on what, ln? Is that the inverse of log? Ln is the inverse of log, and logarithm is finding. Is that the derivative? Does that give the curve along the x-axis where it looks like this? Let's do new. Is that log or is that ln? I never learn these. This is where my math stalls. So all right. Here we go. So now we are fixing this up thanks to Jay. And Binky was trying to tell me that I was nowhere near what we needed to do. All right. So this is super important when you're copying and pasting. Make sure, because this was throwing me off because I did not copy this. This was 3 to the power of x. So it's got to be base 3. Base. Now, don't hold me. Base 3. Now I got it. And then finding the exponent. Got it. I still need to research and really go back to it. So let's see. Let's copy this. All right, so let's check floor division. No, can I modulo? Will this work? Let's find out. (27) divided by modulo 1. We'll go back to that. So if I'd make this 20, what, 45 was false, we're going to check 45. Bingo. All right, so here we are. Greater than, so true or false. Then back to this. Return. This is in. Equivalent to 0. Okay, why doesn't it like this? Math, oh. Import math. Copy. Paste. And here we are. All right, everybody following me? Now let's get this set up. And copy, paste, tab. Oh, I can bring that over. All right, let's check these. Passes, submit. Guess what? We found another one. 243. So what in the world is 243? 243. All right. Returns false, expected true. Copy. 243. 243. And this is supposed to be, so somewhere Python has a problem. And this is where LeetCode is fantastic. I don't know if you've seen stray or straggler numbers where Python will do something like this. So it has a little bit of a memory problem. The way it does long, very large, complicated. So we probably need to have a caveat that if it's something like this or something like this, round to 10. Let's see if these are 1, 2. Can I move? Can I copy this? Let's move this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's divide by 3 till it reaches to find out. Okay. We could do a double layer. K log not braining divided by 3, 81. All right, let's check something. So 45. Do you think we can do an OR? Can't do an OR. But if it's divisible by 3, do we round? So this is a, and I know this is why they picked that number, because divide by 3 in a while loop till it reaches 1 true. But that's why they picked 45. So 45 is, let's go back here. Is that 45? Yeah, look. So, but 45 divided by 3 passes. So we have a mathematical constraint with Python. So that is the problem with this problem. Let's see how many passes that it got through. Yeah, it's still failing. So it's testing 21,040 tests. And what is it? Can I add use case? Yeah. So I add use case. So I'm testing 9 divided by 1. So if I test, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to do something like this. I know that. That's what LeetCode is is going to do. And this is where Python is exceptional. So I want you to look at how long that number is. I wouldn't even know how to say a number like that. But if we were to let's just see. len.str and then put it to the end, and I forgot it. Another. So that has 48. That is the length of 48. And what, 12 is a trillion, I think. Yeah, so 15 quadrillion, and then we go on, and that's just 15, and we're at 48. So all right, so I guess we had another one that stumped. 32-bit can count till 4 billion. Yes. Is that 2 to the... I was experimenting, or I was learning that about the constraint, and it goes from 32-bit, which is 2 times 31 divided by minus 1. That is... Oh, nope. Sorry. There you go. That's actually the boundary of 32. Bit. If I recall, I was just doing a problem because it said to stay within 32 bits or do not convert to 64-bit, and that was the constraint. It was in between negative this and then this on this side minus 1, if I recall, because 32 is right past that. All right. So wish I had a solve for this. But this is heading towards outside of my math skills, and then we have a little bit of a problem here with Python. So not to complain about Python, but every programming language does have a constraint, and as we can see right here, this should be 3 to the power of 5, 3 to the power of 5, and it's 243. And as we go on. So I guess I wouldn't want to hard code and go here, check everything. And it's not divisible by 3. It's multiply by 3. And then that was why 9 passed. Wait a second. Why am I making this harder than it needs to be? This is 3 divided by 1 over n. Right? Is that it? And it's a variation of this? No. Yes. No. Okay. So it's just a math problem. Oh, I'm going to have to think about this. Because... Okay. Let's look at this for a few more minutes and then we'll drop. All right. So 243 is 5. Right? No. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That's 5, right? Okay. Okay. 2, 3. 343 divided by 3 is 81. Nine divided by 3, 3. I know there's a simpler explanation because we just know that let's see. Copy, paste. Oh. No wonder why, yeah. But 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that's 4 times 3, or 3 to the power of 5, 43. All right. There's got to be a variation of this that we can do to solve this issue. And I'm just not seeing it. And it's three to power of the exponent. I want to see something of this. And what's the log of 3? Interesting. All right. So I guess this is too much math for me. dealing with exponents. But I learned a lot today. Hope everybody else has. Hope I wasn't heading towards being pretty yellow. Guess if it's not bright outside, I need to take that towel down. Let's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so that doesn't crash later. Anything pressing right now? While loop is the way. Embrace the loop. Right, but we're so close here with a formula. There's got to be another longhand formula, because yes, I get but again, 45. What's your constraint for 45? Because 45 will pass, but it's not. Because it is not a power. So that's the only issue. Because hello, how are you doing? So 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 3 times 3, 27. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Oops. 3, that gets our 243. So what we've got to do is because if we do a straight modulo, there's a variation here, and there's probably manual operations. No, we're trying to find, this is LeetCode. Actually, which LeetCode is this? Let me change it in the title. This is, what LeetCode is this? Power of 3? Power of 3. Let me go back. Let me type in power of 3 because I just changed. It just went backwards. Power of 3. $326. There it is. And power of 3, 326. Let me change the search. And 326 power of 3. Save. So if the number comes in the power of 3, you return that number. No, return more simple than that. If it's exponent, basically is a whole number. Wait a minute. Yeah, if it's exponent, is a whole number. So J came through and threw out this no. If it's a power. So as you can see here, if it's divisible by 3, you fail on 45. These are true solutions right here. And we thought we had a math problem right here, but it fails on 243, which is the power 3 to the power of 5. We get 243, but when we run 243 through here, we get 9999. We get 49999999999. So it's a bug in. I want to check something. What does 42 look like? So what I'm wondering is if we round to like, I want to check something. Let's do 98 and 95. So let's Okay, we're not going to type that in. We're not going to x equals this, and then x. All right. So now I want to change x a little bit. -1. So see that shouldn't have passed. See that? Did you guys see that right there? Ooh, hang on. No, yeah. That should not have passed. Because this is not this number. X 1 divided by 3. That's that. So this is why this, if n equals 1, return true. Basically, is that a constraint? No, 1 would return. 1 should be 0, or return false, because 1. Oops, not that. Cube root of 1. So I wonder if those are the other 20 that we're failing. Cube root of 1 is 1, but it's also n to the power of x. Okay, let's do one more and I'll probably wrap up here. 0, 0. Okay, I'm completely stumped now because we are way past my math skills, but maybe we'll keep working on this. And I think Vinky had a solution for the stairs, so I am going to go back and look at that. We have, I think I need to get another light. That's, how bad does this look with if I go full? I kind of drown out pretty well. All right, let's close that out. All right, so point that there. Let's see. All right, got to work on that. Maybe take down that if it's shady outside. Okay, everybody, let's wrap up for today. Wish I had a solution here. So we got 2. We have this power of 3, and we have our stair step that we did not solve. I'll look at the problem too later tonight. Awesome. Pep, thank you very much. Vinky, thanks for hanging out. Nico, I don't know if you're still here. Jay, great possible solution. But we did find some flaws because Python does have a little bit of issues when we get here, because we found a flaw there, and then we got the same response because when we did it the long way, we got this answer right here, and we should not have gotten 95. Should have been 94, blah, 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 power. All right. If there's no pressing questions, I think we're at, how long are we? Almost 2.5 hours. Yeah, I definitely. Oh, it's yeah, I need to get going here. But all right, thank you, everybody. If you've not hit the like button, please do that. If you've not subscribed, please do that as well. If you've not joined the Discord server, please go ahead and do that. And I will see everyone next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye.